Choke no joke, Chiggy choke no joke. Choke no joke, Chiggy choke no joke. We here now. You know what it is. Keep on hating. You know what it is. So, choke no joke. I'm here, right? I just want to let y'all know that it is clear to me that Reggie Wright Jr. and Suge Knight have called a truce. Okay? It is very clear to me that Reggie Wright Jr. and Suge Knight have called a truce. My reasons believing why they called the truce is because of this Tupac murder trial that's going on with Keefe D. Like I said, I don't believe that Keefe D and Orlando Anderson, T. Brown, Andre, Big Dre, or whatever his last name is, DeAndre Smith. I don't believe those guys are responsible for the murder of Tupac Shakur. I believe that it was a death row, allegedly, it was a death row hit because Tupac was leaving death row. Now, y'all know that I dropped an interview with Suge Knight, who went in on Reggie and Whack 100, right? And why I know now that they called the truce is because after I dropped that interview with Suge, right? What happened was Reggie Wright Jr. went off on Suge, followed up by Whack 100. As they do, it ain't nothing new. They've been going in on Suge, so it's nothing new. And this is why Suge went hard on them. And Suge alleges to us all that Reggie played the part in the murder of Tupac Shakur, allegedly, right? Now, all of us out here, the RJ Barnes, all these guys on YouTube that been researching and reporting on the murder of Tupac Shakur for over the last 3 decades, it always points back to Reggie Wright Jr., right? One, for his constant lying, one for another reason, him trying to get Frank Alexander to lie and say that Orlando Anderson tried to take Tupac chain the day before, which we know that was a lie, which Reggie know that is a lie, and he tried to come with the alibi of saying that he concocted that story because he didn't want Tupac to get violated, being that he was out on an appeal bond, which why would he even give a F, right? But there's plenty of reasons why we believe that Reggie Wright Jr. was the orchestrator in this murder, assassination of Tupac Shakur. There's plenty of reasons. And this is going to be a video that I'm going to drop in parts because it's so much to unfold here, right? Now, this is why I believe these two, Suge and Reggie, have called the truce, right? When Suge came out and did that video and he blamed Reggie, right? I believe personally that Reggie has some type of dirt on Suge and vice versa, right? But I believe that these two are connected in some of the dirt. And I knew for a fact when Reggie came out and gave a rebuttal to Suge blaming him for the murder of Tupac Shakur, that Suge was going to have a response to what Reggie said, right? Now, what happened was this. Suge more recently went on the Art of Dialogue, right? And when he went back on the Art of Dialogue following the interview that I released that went viral and everybody went and did a recap video on it, right? And then Reggie came out and said what he had to say about it. Suge went and followed up and did this long rant, a 40-minute rant on the Art of Dialogue. And not once did he mention Reggie Wright Jr. Not once did he mention Reggie in that response video. That is a super duper red flag, right? And to go one step further, Suge goes and says that he went and pulled up his medical records. After 30 years of him saying he had a 45 bullet etched in his skull, he is now retracting that story and said he reached out or he went and got and looked at his medical records. How? I would love to know how he was able to get his medical records, which he should have had all these years. Even earlier this year, he still said he had a 45 bullet etched in his skull. Now, Suge is saying he went and looked at his medical records because Reggie recently said Suge ain't got no 45 bullet etched in his skull. He got a 40 caliber etched in his skull, right? How would Reggie know what kind of bullet Suge got in his head? Which a lot of us don't believe Suge has a 45 bullet or any bullet etched in his skull, because if you listen to Gobi tell his story, he was standing right there with Suge's mother when the surgeons came out after working on Suge and said Suge had a piece of scrap metal in his head, not a bullet, a piece of scrap metal in his head, and told him that he is going to be fine. They're going to stitch him up and he'll be out tomorrow or in a few hours, whatever it was. I can't remember. But now, when Reggie says he has a 40 bullet in his head, a 40 bullet in his head, Suge says he went and looked at his medical records or went and got his medical records, and Reggie was right. After 30 years, Suge went back and looked at his medical records after 30 years of saying he had a 45 bullet etched in his skull. Go look at all his interviews. Now, Reggie is right. No pun intended. Reggie is right. And he got to give Reggie his cigar for pointing that out. Now Suge got a 40 caliber etched in his skull. This tells me that Reggie has something over Suge. For Suge to say he giving Reggie his cigar for pointing that out, and you telling me from when Suge was in his 20s or early 30s, always said he had a 45 bullet etched in his skull. Now today, this man is telling us he went and pulled his medical records from jail. And now today, he got a 40 caliber bullet etched in his skull. They working together. They called the truce. And now I even believe even more that Tupac assassination was all in-house, allegedly. And I'll get back with more on that. Choke no joke, you know what it is.